Loose, part 17 of 30. What to do when you feel stuck. So yesterday, if you saw my video about growth, I talked about the early days when I would wake up feeling like a superhero and there was momentum and I'm excited. But you'll also recall a video if you watched, which was part 14, imposter syndrome. I remember this very clearly. This particular day, I got a massive bout of, what the bloody hell do you think you're doing? It was absolutely paralyzing. I was just, I had so many things going on in my head. I don't have the greatest of capacity to think complicated stuff, and there was a lot going on, and I just went, what to do when you're stuck. I was stuck. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. If you don't know the answer to the question, or even the question in the first place, what are you even running towards? I was overwhelmed to the point of stuck. So I was reading a book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And I recalled a point in this book. I was still midway through reading it, and he said, achieving nothing or doing nothing is an achievement in itself sometimes. So if you're sat thinking, I need to do this, I should be doing that, and beating yourself up, which is exactly what I was doing, do nothing. Try and clear your mind. Just stop. If you don't know what you're running towards, well, there's no point running. Stop. But don't sit there beating yourself up for the things that you think you should be doing. Easier said than done. I've talked before about a daily yoga practice that I have, which is all about trying to clear your mind. And it's a practice. You don't just do it and then it's done and you're good. This is a continual progression. It's a bit like, dancing. You don't do the dance to get to the end. You dance because it feels good, and there's no finish point with that. So it's a sunny day. Right, let's try. I'm going to do nothing because I just don't know what to do. Now, my husband might call this sunbathing. I went in the garden and I'm looking up at the sky. I'm breathing, my yoga practice, I'm breathing. Did I even know if I was going to move again? Actually, I didn't. But within, 30 minutes, my mind was clear. I'm going to do something. Now, among all the things that had become overwhelming, one of the things on my list was to join a gym. In fact, I'd been speaking to a friend of mine. In fact, I'd emailed him in the morning and said, it's not the right time for me. I'm not signing up. But after this moment of doing nothing, I want to join the gym. So I messaged him saying, I'm signing up. I've said in other videos, I never really fancy going. I go twice a week. And instead of making up reasons why not to go, I know it does me good. So I just go. And evidently afterwards, I feel great. So I signed up and I've never looked back. 4 years on, I still go to the gym twice a week. So doing nothing sometimes, if you don't have the answer, if you're confused, that moment in time, and after, I signed up to the gym and then I was like, well, today I've achieved. Tomorrow's a new day. Let's see what comes. There have been moments where I just think, nothing. Just stop. Don't beat yourself up. Chill. Now, there are other times I've learned then this practice over time, that when I feel stuck, I don't know the answer, I don't know what I'm running towards. In fact, this summer even, I was talking yesterday about growth and what that looks like. I know now people that I feel energized around. And so if I'm stuck, I seek them out, because who knows what comes from a good conversation sometimes. I was doom scrolling Facebook, I think it must have been in maybe June or July, and I saw an ad for a ceramics workshop. And I thought, I'd love to do something like that. Why don't you? Well, I don't know what to do. Let's do that. So I messaged, it's Yasmin Creative. Now I'm aware of her work. She looks like an incredibly creative and inspiring person. I was like, well, that would be a good place to start. Anyway, signed up, went to this workshop. Incredible lady. We had an amazing 2 days this weekend of building ceramics. And I came out with quite a proud pot at the end of it. You know, that was the end result. What was the answer? It was a pot. I did something different that I wanted to do. We explored that. I like ceramics. I found inspiration from this lady. She gave me reference to a new book called The Big Idea or something like that. I'm midway through reading it. There are other times when I know now when to be quiet and when to sit, or when to go out and seek inspiration. You know, I don't know what I'm looking for, so I'll just go off somewhere. I went the other day to the gallery to see what was on at the George Crosnan. I went to, in fact, this week, I was looking through LinkedIn, which is not a favourite place of mine generally, but anyway, I came across this chap and he'd written a blog post, and I thought, well, that's interesting, I like that. And at the end of his post, he'd written, you know, if anyone wants to get in touch, we'll have a coffee and share stories. I'm like, yeah, I'd like to have a coffee with this chap. So instead of making up all the reasons why I shouldn't, before my brain had gone into, you know, survival mode, oh, don't do that, don't put yourself out there, I emailed him saying, oh, I liked your post, fancy a coffee? And he was like, yeah. So we went this week, and actually from that conversation, there are a few questions now that I have to ponder on. There was no expectation, you just don't know. Will I catch up with him again? Don't know. But I know over time this practice of recognising when I'm stuck, and certainly early on, if you get stuck, because there's a lot going on, quiet or when to lean in. If you don't have the question, then you'll never know the answer. So it's worth, be kind. Take a minute, practice doing nothing. Gosh, sometimes we live really busy lives. To sit and be okay with that and not think, I was going to swear, oh, you silly, silly thing, you should be doing something else. From that one experience of that 30 minutes, not knowing if I was going to get up and move again, join the gym there, great. I've done a ceramics course. I met this chap for coffee. There are things to get unstuck with. In fact, this morning I woke up and it's peeing down. It's grey and gloomy. I was like, I don't know. So I had a really long yoga flow today. And then I thought, do you know what? My mother-in-law needs to walk her dog. I'm going to go with her. It's pouring with rain. We're going to get wet. Oh, well. And I turned up this morning and she'd got me a little Christmas decoration that she's seen and said, I thought of you, so I've got you this. Well, that's just brightened my mood. I don't feel stuck. In fact, I was inspired to come this morning and talk to you about what to do when you feel stuck. There's always something or nothing. Much love.